Along dusty Highway 111 in Nyland, California, the Buckshot Deli and Diner is the place to get a strong cup of coffee and directions to the area's most famous landmark.
Go 2 blocks to the south and turn left, and you go straight. And that's just how it is. You just know the people that want to go to Salvation Mountain. And they're probably sometimes you'll get 100 a day that just want to go to Salvation Mountain.
The draw of Salvation Mountain is not surprising. After all, how often does one see a candy-colored mountain 3 stories high in the middle of the desert?
Hello, my name is Leonard Knight, and I made this mountain 22 years here, and I'd love to give you a tour of it.
Filmmakers and photographers have helped spread the word about Salvation Mountain and Leonard Knight, the self-taught artist who spent years building his monument to God's love. Knight lived at the mountain in the back of a pickup truck. For years, he would greet visitors and give daily tours.
Everybody's more than welcome to straggle up if you want.
This past December, Leonard Knight moved to a nursing home in San Diego County. He's 80 years old. Without Knight living and working on site, Salvation Mountain's future is now uncertain.
Or the paint, obviously.
San Diegan Dan Westfall and a group of concerned locals have formed a nonprofit board to preserve and protect the mountain.
Number one is security. This is not a really, stable, secure neighborhood. There are elements around here that don't respect Leonard's art, that don't respect much of anything.
Just down the road from Salvation Mountain is Slab City, what is sometimes referred to as the last free place in America. People live off the grid here, some squatting year-round on state-owned land, and others, snowbirds, setting up camp during the mild winter months.
We have 4 members of the board are from Slab City. They are in 10-minute drive, 15, 20-minute walk of the mountain, so if there's an issue, there's someone on site. They've been a great saving grace here for us.
Of course, it's kind of looked at as a place where a lot of criminals, outlaws, hippies, and no-goods live.
This is Cuervo, and these are his mules, Rock and Roll and Cocky Walker. Cuervo lives in a tent in Slab City. He says a lot of people there want to see Salvation Mountain preserved.
Oh, well, I think it's beautiful, and I like the way he built it. I'm not real, fond of the Jesus stuff and all that. I'm not a real religious guy as far as that, especially the Christian Jesus part and all that. Of course, love is nice. I recognize that.
Complicating matters further is the question of ownership. The state is not sure they own the land under Salvation Mountain. They say right now they don't have the resources to find out if they do. Meanwhile, the new board is looking for a caretaker to live at the mountain.
Leonard was here working on it 24/7, and that's kind of what needs to happen.
Jo Farb Hernandez is the director of Spaces, an organization that helps preserve work by outsider artists. She says the caretaker will have to do more than protect the mountain. They'll need to patch the adobe and paint on a daily basis.
Somebody needs to be here on site, somebody that knows what they're doing, to do conservation work on it as needed, because otherwise it will be impossible to save. People are climbing all over it, and there are cracks all over it. And somebody's boot heel catches in it, and a chunk comes out, and then the rain gets in, or the sun peels back the paint, and pretty soon you've got a much larger chunk that's out.
Salvation Mountain was Leonard Knight's passion and his life work. Transferring that kind of passion to someone else who will volunteer to live and work there for a small stipend is a challenge.
I can't imagine the amount of labor that Leonard put into this in the last 27 years. That passion is going to take a unique individual that's going to value this enough to say this is worth doing.
It's probably one of the more problematic sites in the country, certainly, if not the world. But I personally think that this is one of the top tier of art environments in the country, if not the world, on a lot of different levels. I think aesthetically, conceptually, spiritually, certainly.
Over the years, Leonard Knight has been approached by religious groups who wanted to include their message on the mountain. He always refused, choosing one simple mission: to let people know that his God is a God of love.
I want Leonard's legacy to live on. Leonard always said, keep it simple. And it can't be any more simple than this, and people coming and helping and making the mountain grow and stay for future generations. I want my grandkids to bring their kids here.